Yes, for mouths. Mm-hmm. It's for mouths.
You got it. You got it. Is it?
Ready here? Another minute here.
They're taking pictures.
Yeah.
I like pictures.
Hello.
Got us 15 minutes early, I see.
Yeah. How's the? Well, gosh, how's the feeling? I mean, tell us about it.
Oh, it's great. You know, there was such a wait to find out how it was all going to happen, and I was trying to be ready. And then when the call came that, hey, we're coming to get you because we're going to fly you up there, I wasn't ready, and then I'm rushing, and so that was a little crazy. Minot was great. The people in Minot were great, and the gals from Canadian Family Services that brought him over were just wonderful, and he was just as happy to see me as I was him. It was great.
What did he say to you? Imagine, Mom.
Yeah. I think he was like, "Mommy, am I going home?" So yeah, he was really excited. So,
How do you feel having him in your arms again?
much better. I feel relief. We're tired. I am tired. He slept on the plane, so he's a little bit energized, but I am exhausted. I haven't slept a whole lot in the last several days, so I'm really tired.
Take us through your emotions over the weekend. I mean, it must have been a roller coaster.
It was, from terror to disbelief to wondering how what was going to happen, amazement at how fast it did happen, and then anxiousness waiting for him to be to just figure out how we were going to get home, and then just relief. And yeah.
How are you going to keep him safe now?
That is that is probably a series of conversations that I'm going to have with these much more qualified folks. I don't know. I will, with much help. I will do everything I can, but I have to have a lot of direction from Commander Satter and Agent Coder.
Do you feel incredibly protective right now? I mean, have you had a hard time letting him go? I mean,
Yes.
How are you feeling right now to have him back in your
Yeah,
arms?
it's hard, it's the same feeling as the last time he came home. I didn't want to smother him because little boys don't like to be smothered. But it's still, I don't like him away from my sight. It was hard to leave my daughter behind to go get him. So, I feel kind of a little torn right now and anxious to get home to her. So.
Can I ask him a question?
Yeah.
Say hi. Hi. Oh, look at that. You got a microphone there. So how was it? What did you want?
Let's do this.
Yeah, is that for you?
Yes.
Can you say hi? Can you look
Hi.
at those? Can you look at the screen? Say hi.
Hi.
They're going to ask you a question. Can you answer it?
Hey, Luke, how do you feel about being back home?
We missed you. Colorado missed you. We're happy you're back. How was your day? What'd you do today?
We do
Did you fly?
So much, huh?
Did you on an airplane?
yes.
Did you like it?
Yes.
Yeah. He really enjoyed the airplane ride. And we had a diversion to Casper because of the weather, and then in circling, waiting for the weather to clear, we were getting low on fuel. And so they let us go into the terminal up there, and he was running around with his arms out.
Stop me if you don't want to answer this question, but what's the difference between the ride up in the car and the ride back in the plane?
I don't think he's at that. I don't think he's old enough or that comprehension level to answer a question like that. Yeah. I don't think he comprehends enough of that.
Are you gonna be able to explain to him what this whole ordeal was?
You know, we briefly talked about, some, it was very brief, and I just think in his mind he's happy to know that I'm okay and that he's okay. But he's still very confused, and I think it's just gonna, over time, I'm going to seek therapy for all three of us, and to make sure that we're going to be okay, and to seek advice about how best to handle his questions and help him understand. It'll probably be years. He will probably be an adult and have flashes of memories.
Yeah,
and start putting things together, But yeah, I intend to get some good solid advice on how to handle his questions and memories.
And it might be a difficult question to answer, and maybe you're not ready, but do you think that you ever want him to know his dad? Or have a relationship with his dad?
I never didn't want him to have a relationship with his dad. This was all so unnecessary. I had that conversation with my attorney. All of this was so unnecessary, and I think it's a shame because kids so obviously thrive with both parents, and I hurt for him that he's not going to have that. But his safety is the most important thing.
I read some of your story, and it said that your son disappeared essentially for several months while going on a sanctioned camping trip. Having gone through that, what happened to you this weekend? Did you look at this and say, I should have expected it, I did expect it, this is not a surprise, or was it a surprise?
Obviously, it was a surprise. I don't know. I guess in the back of my mind, it was always a possibility. I guess I hoped that it wouldn't happen.
It
And
won't happen.
As much as I had, any scenario that I had run through my head, it just didn't go that way. So, yeah.
Is it all right if we kind of wrap this up?
Yeah,
I mean, it's getting
you have a lot
pretty
of
late
people
for the
behind
little
the
guy.
scenes. Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
A lot of people behind the scenes as far as your family goes. What have they been doing, basically all day, all morning long that you know of at the hobby?
They have been doing the same thing that you have been doing, waiting, because I didn't tell anybody. My daughter is the only person that knew even part of my plans.
Is she
So-
also Marcy's daughter? as
No.
well?
No, she's not.
Jeff, can you tell us just a little bit how you arranged all of this and how Brandy and Luke were brought back together, where you guys did that, how it was arranged?
Can you speak closer to the mic?
Yeah, and, sorry, the FBI were great partners in this case, and they arranged all this for us and for Brandy and Luke. And they took care of all the connections with Canada, with their connections in Minot, and arranged all this. And we owe a lot to the FBI. We owe a lot to the Denver Police Department, Brandon Police Department. I mean, everybody we called for assistance in this case has just stepped right up and given it 110%. And we've been very grateful. That DIA Airport for getting us this room, just everybody's been great. And, the goal was to get Luke and Brandy back together and get it so it was easy, it was safe, and it's been a long day, but it was easy and it was safe, and it's a very successful day from a long weekend for Brandy. But all our partners in this just worked very hard, as did the members of the Longmont Police Department. Everybody worked very, very hard.
And Jeff, did they actually meet up in Minot?
I wasn't there, but I believe they met somewhere up there, and I don't know if they're ready to disclose that location at this time.
Will this be a Longmont case,
We're still working with the FBI on that. There's, we do have a federal, let's see, I always have to think, unlawful flight to avoid prosecution warrant, but we are working with our district attorney's office, their AUSA, with the goal of what's best for the case, and that decision will be made in the future on what's best for the case to make sure it's the best prosecution possible.
And will you, do you know, can you talk about how they tracked them to that hotel?
No, we can't go into that at this time, and we'd just like to get them home at this point. And, I'll be available. You've got my phone number. I'm always available, and I'll be available to answer some more questions as we get a little farther into this investigation about those kind of things.
Brandy, what's it gonna be like to take him home and put him to bed tonight?
It'll be great. It'll be great. It'll be a comfort.
It'd be great.
So I would like to make a statement, and then I would like to go home. I have a lot of people to thank. I thank God for His care and protection. I thank the Longmont PD and all the other law enforcement that coordinated with them, the FBI agents, and there are some wonderful people in Canada who cooperated and then cared for Luke and then did everything they could to safely return him, and some great people up towards the border from our side that took care of me and helped. And for all of you guys who have been so kind and patient with me, and who you got the word out there, and I appreciate that so much. And for the thousands of people who have been praying for our family for the last year, really, since this first started. Thank you all.
I do.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome back. Great work, sir.